Hello people, welcome to It's Murder. Today's case takes us to Newham, East London, where a 22-year-old NHS worker would lose his life for literally walking down his own street. A civilian minding his own business caught up in gang warfare. David Gomoh was a 24-year-old university marketing graduate. He was a key worker for the NHS, providing NHS staff with much-needed equipment during the pandemic. His mother, who is also a nurse at the NHS, described her son as charismatic, intelligent and focused. He had no association with gangs but was unfortunate enough to live in a town overrun by them. The London Borough of Newham was created in 1965. It includes areas such as Custom House, Canning Town, Beckton, Plaistow, Stratford, Manor Park, Forest Park plus more. Although gangs have always existed, in earlier years gang members would come from all over the borough, with all areas relatively safe for anyone to go to. Disputes and fights happened, but they were more personal, person to person. Until the 24th of January 2009, when things would take a tragic turn for the worst. A 15-year-old boy was set upon by 20 to 30 gang members from the Custom House area and stabbed outside an anti-violence party. This would create a massive divide in the borough. In the south, Custom House, Beckton, Canning Town. In the north, Plaistow, Manor Park, Forest Park. New gangs were formed, new alliances were made, and a war began to rage. East London would see some of the worst violence recorded in the UK. In 2018 it was reported that Newham had the lowest life expectancy out of all of London. On the 26th of April 2020, in the height of COVID-19, David stepped out of his home in the Custom House area of Newham around 10:35 p.m. to nip to the local shop. As he walked down the street he chatted to his girlfriend on the phone. A few moments after leaving his home, a number of males jumped out of a stolen Dodge Caliber demanding to know where he was from. David barely had time to react. Within seconds he was caught and viciously assaulted and stabbed multiple times. As David's attackers fled the scene, he somehow managed to stagger back to his home. He was shouting to his mum for help and collapsed at his front door. His injuries were catastrophic. Police and ambulance arrived, and David was taken to hospital. He was pronounced dead a short while later. A post-mortem revealed David had been stabbed a total of 10 times with at least 2 different knives. He was stabbed with such ferocity and force that he had wounds as deep as 19 centimeters cutting through lung and bone. Police would begin their investigations. They found a pair of sunglasses at the scene of the attack, and they would also retrieve another pair of sunglasses from the back seat of the stolen silver Dodge Caliber discovered abandoned a short distance away from the crime scene. These would provide crucial DNA evidence and help identify the gang members. On the 3rd of May 2020, Mohammed Jalloh, 18 from Stratford, and a 17-year-old boy from Telford were charged with the murder of David Gomoh. They appeared at Thames Magistrates Court the next day, where they were remanded to prison to await trial at the Old Bailey at a later date. On the 16th of May 2020, Vagnay Kalyabali, 22 from Cambridge, was charged with murder. On the 18th of May, David Chur, 20, homeless, was also charged with the murder of David Gomoh. Both would be remanded to prison to appear at the Old Bailey at a later date. All 4 defendants pled not guilty, and a trial was set for July 2021. In a trial that was over 6 weeks long, the prosecution told the jury.
Vagnay Kalyabali, now 23, David Chur, now 19, Mohammed Jalloh, now 19, and the now 18-year-old boy who can be named as Alex Malaku, all members or associates of a gang that operates in the north of Newham, drove to rival territory in the South Newham area that evening prepared to inflict serious and fatal injury. For this so-called ride out to the op block, they had arranged for a stolen Dodge Caliber to be parked the previous evening in preparation and went equipped with knives and a change of clothes. They had also turned off their phones to evade police detection. They drove around looking for potential targets and spotted Mr. Gomoh at Freemasons Road, E16. He was on the phone to his girlfriend when he was approached by 3 of the 4 defendants and was stabbed 10 times in a frenzied attack. Mr. Gomoh died shortly after of catastrophic injuries.
The court also heard how Chur had created a cartoon storyboard of the murder, before, during and after, which was retrieved from his bedroom during a search. This was presented to the jury along with CCTV and the DNA evidence lifted from the sunglasses which had Jalloh and Malaku's DNA on. On the 11th of August 2021, all 4 defendants were found guilty in the murder of David Gomoh, a man who had worked hard for himself and his community. He had absolutely no affiliations with gangs. He was just a civilian. Had he left his home a few moments later, he would likely still be alive today. On the 17th of September 2021, Mohammed Jalloh, who had achieved a grade GCSEs and self-professed drug dealer, received 27 years in prison. Vagnay Kalibali, who had already been deported from the UK but smuggled himself back in, also received 27 years imprisonment. David Chur, who had already been convicted for a stabbing in 2018, received a 26-year sentence, and Alex Malaku received a 21-year sentence. A total of 101 years between them. That's all for now, people. I hope you enjoyed the case. Don't forget to tune in next Wednesday for the 4th episode. Thank you for watching.